Hey folks, and welcome into the Truck King YouTube channel. Today is exciting because we have the new 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel. Under the hood of this truck, of course, is the new 3-liter i6 Hurricane. No more Hemi V8 is available here. So you know we got to put that to the test. Is this really better than the Hemi? Let's go off-road, sink this truck in the mud, and find out. Let's start with a walk around. So we have to look at the power plant. Like I said off the top, this is a 3-liter inline-6 twin turbo engine. Now here in the Rebel, this is the base output on this engine. You can get a high output version in some of those top trim trucks. But right here, this thing is making 420 horsepower, 469 pound-feet of torque, and that is sent through an 8-speed automatic. And yes, both of those numbers, horsepower and torque, are bigger than the 5.7 Hemi V8 that this thing is replacing. So even at the base level, you're getting more power than you had out of that old V8. Now the truck you're looking at today, of course, is the Rebel, so that means you are getting some unique styling to set it apart, a different front end, a unique grille up here which looks sharp. Our truck today is also fully blacked out. You get this sport hood up here with those vents in it that look pretty cool. And then the biggest off-road upgrade, of course, tires. That is a set of Goodyear Wrangler Duratrax wrapped around 18-inch wheels. Behind that, you also get upgraded suspension from Bilstein, and in our case today, we also have 4-corner air suspension, which is also going to help to lift that body up when we're off-road. Now, another feature we have today are the towing mirrors, because we do have the towing package on this truck, so we add those big mirrors right there. No steps along the side, which I also like for any off-road truck, and then, of course, some Rebel badging as well. Now, back here at the back end, we also get a powered tailgate on the truck that you're looking at here for our bed. Basic bed back here, you're only getting one hard tie down in each corner. I do wish there was more, although we do get this bed rail system, so you do have movable cleats up there. LED lighting in the bed too, and you get a plug that offers 400 watts of power, so a little bit of power to the back of this Ram. And there's one other thing I have to show you. We also get a bed step. Ram step kicks out like that. Use it to climb up in. That works pretty well. I do think I prefer GM and now Ford's bumper mounted step, but still nice to have a step option. When you're done with it, kick it out of the way, and when you're done with that tailgate, up it goes. The final Rebel upgrade I have to mention, a rear locking differential has been added to this truck, which is nice to have for off-roading. And then, of course, let me come back to towing. If you're wondering what the actual number is, well, this truck can pull just over 11,000 pounds off the 2-inch hitch receiver. And let's check the payload on the door jamb sticker. We're talking about 1,340 pounds, which is a pretty good number. Now let's look underneath this Rebel. First of all, the tow hooks, really nice and exposed up there in the bumper, so I do appreciate that. Now, about these bumpers, that is a steel bumper. That's my magnet test, so I love that you get the steel bumpers. That's going to offer you some protection, but this is a little bit surprising that you don't get a skid plate between that steel bumper and then your sort of lower engine skid plate. This whole gap is open, and you can see these holes up here in this cross member. That's going to get packed full of mud. So yeah, unfortunate to see nothing sort of right up in here. Now as we roll back though, I will show you Skid plate is steel, so they did go with steel. Now, another thing I want to talk about real quick, just because it's really obvious, you can see it here, is Ram uses a splayed frame. So you can see this frame as it comes in front of this cross member. It actually moves outward towards the outside of the vehicle. That's for crash protection. So in a crash, in a small or moderate overlap crash, the energy is actually going to be forced outwards rather than straight back into the cab. And Ram's the only brand to do that. So just one little interesting thing, which, yeah, when it's up on a rack like this, you can really clearly see. So looking for more off-road protection now, we get to transfer case skid plate, and that is steel. And then a massive fuel tank skid plate, which is also steel. We actually don't see too many steel fuel tank skid plates these days. It feels like they're always some kind of composite plastic. But yeah, Ram goes with steel. Now at the back end, you can see those upgraded Bilstein shock absorbers, and behind them, you are getting a full-size spare tire. Another thing to note, at the rear of the truck, you do have a dual exhaust, but it's not a true dual exhaust. You can see the two exhaust pipes here come together into one pipe for the back of the truck. So not a true dual, but it does still look pretty cool at the back end of this Ram. Just before we go off-road, I want to show you guys a pretty neat feature here in the Ram 1500 Rebel. That is off-road pages. So you select your off-road pages app, it brings you here, and you get lots of great information. So first of all, I love that you can see your steering angle, and look, the tires even turn. It's also going to tell you what situation your four-wheel drive system is in. So then we can go accessory gauges. That's to make sure everything is working as it should. Pitch and roll, self-explanatory. The suspension articulation is cool, so this will actually show you where your wheels are in terms of how much they're articulating, and we'll show you how that works. And then the normal, that has to do with the air suspension. So right now, let's bump it up into off-road 2. So we're gonna go to full height. And you can see it says raising. You can feel the truck coming up, so that's always gonna sort of remind you exactly what level your truck is sitting at. And then finally over here, we get the forward-facing camera. And I just want to say right now, that is a sharp looking camera. We test vehicles obviously all the time, and that's probably the nicest looking camera that I can honestly remember, just in terms of how crisp the image is. So I appreciate that from the Ram as well. And now, yeah, let's start hitting some mud. And it's rainy out here today, so things are going to be real slippery. All right, folks, let's start off with the ditch crawl. So I've got the Rebel here in maximum ground clearance mode, so my air suspension's all the way up. I'm in four-wheel drive high, and I do have it in off-road mode, which tells me it maximizes traction for mud and sand driving. And you guys can see it's rainy and wet today, and it's been raining most of the night, so everything is going to be especially muddy. Feeling fine so far, though, just creeping through. Oh, there's my parking sensors. Give me one moment to turn off Mr. Parking Sensors. No, sorry, there we go. Off now. Here we go. Oh, it's slipping. It's slipping. Come on. I'm assuming that's not bumper, right? It's just tire? It's just slipping. Okay, which means I'm going to back up and just hit it a little bit. Here we go. Little bit of momentum because it's muddy today. I got to overcome. Come on, Ram! Oh, Ram! All right, that's okay. We still have more tricks up our sleeve. Next step, axle lock. Lock up our rear end. Okay, now we're rear end locked. A little bit more momentum, roll into it, here we go. Nope. It's gonna go though, I can feel it, I can feel it. Oh, that's funny, my wheel speed went too high there. The truck's actually starting to lower itself because once it detects that you're moving at a certain speed, the air suspension drops down. Okay, I'm just giving it a second. We're back in off-road mode. Here we go. Boom! Yes. Yes. Woo-hoo-hoo! I could feel that it was gonna go. That one I needed momentum. And now it's a good time to start talking about the tires. These are Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs. I've always had good luck with these tires and felt like they've been pretty good in the mud. But it is, again, especially slippery out here. So we might have found the limit already. But let's keep on keeping on and, yeah, see what happens over here in the ruts. All right, now driving into the offset ruts. And again, are they ever muddy today, and they're full of water. So we're back in our maximum clearance. I unlocked the rear end though, and I did put it in 4 low. I want to give the Ram a good chance of getting through here without the locker. I think today we're going to need the locker, but we're about to find out. Now, one thing I really love is this wheel articulation screen showing me exactly where my front suspension and my rear axle are sitting. Oh, wow, and that was really smooth. Nice, Ram. Wow, is that ever quick? Nicely done. So again, I'm in 4-wheel low, and usually in low, the truck will change up its traction control response, and the front end right there, it felt like a limited slip, like it was almost no lag whatsoever. It basically instantly sent power to the other side, and it pulled me through there. That was super impressive, whereas the ditch crossing was just so-so. Very interesting. Well, let's head to the trails now and see what happens. And we're into the sloppy stuff now, folks, here on the hydro line. So the first thing I'm noticing is the clearance. You know, you bump up that air suspension, it makes a significant difference, especially on a trail like ours, which is just muddy ruts. So a lot of trucks, you know, wheels sit down in the ruts, and then the body ends up belly dragging quite a bit. I felt almost no belly drags out of this truck, so I love getting that clearance. I feel like I always have to point out, too, that in the snow, getting that body ground clearance can be massively important. Oh, there's a bit of a drag, but that's a pretty low point right there. But yeah, compared to a lot of the other trucks we've run up here recently, this thing has been clearing everything. So, love the air suspension. Now, it's worth mentioning about air suspension, when you're at full off-road height, it gets a little stiff in here, because that airbag, you have to imagine, is, you know, fully inflated, not leaving a lot of damping space. But outside of that, yeah, loving the clearance so far out of the Rebel. And now we go into the water. Again, feeling that stiff suspension, but the power feels so good. I barely have to feather the throttle to get me through here. I am in 4 low, so I'm getting that gear reduction. Oh my gosh! Again, I'm bouncing all over the place. So very noticeable, the suspension difference once you pump it up. Oh, a bit of slip on the rocks here. Again, everything's super wet today, so if it's gonna slip, it's gonna be today. But yeah, feels good, and that's what I'll say. And of course, this is in 4 low, but power delivery, man, it's right there. No complaints whatsoever with that slow speed power delivery off-road. All right, folks, rolling down the hill now, and I'm going to use Ram's Select Speed off-road cruise control. So my foot is off the brake and the gas right now. This is 1 kilometer an hour. That's the lowest speed. Let's see how it handles going over the crest of this hill. Really smoothly. Didn't even let me run away for a second. We were just recently in the Ford Ranger Raptor, and in Ford's system, it did feel like it kind of lets you run away for a moment, and then it would catch you. This feels really controlled, and now as we come into the water here, let's speed up 6 kilometers an hour using the plus-minus gear limit buttons. Uh-oh. So that's interesting. So you can see it hit a rock there down in the water, and it took the truck a good minute, not minute, but it took the truck a good 4 or 5 seconds to roll on the necessary power to get me over that obstacle. I almost came to a full stop, or did come to a complete stop. So yeah, it's interesting. All these systems do work a bit differently, and the brains definitely react in different ways. And in that case, I felt like it was real smooth coming down the hill, but then over those obstacles, it's like it meets an obstacle, and then it has to sit there and think for a moment and decide, how much power do I need to roll on here? So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the smoothest one out there, but definitely pretty good and different from what you're going to find at other brands. Well, folks, it is doing okay, and despite the very first hurdle in the ditch, the tires are holding their own so far. But let's head over to the new trail uppercut, and there's a real muddy section in the swamp over there. We'll see how it goes. All right, folks, now we're over here on the new trail. Uppercut. We're going to go up, uppercut, and down the left hook. Now, as you can already see, this trail is tight, so it's going to take a bit of maneuvering. And yeah, this truck feels big out here. Partially that's because of the hood. You get this sport hood and it kind of sits up and makes it feel bigger. And then it's these monstrous mirrors. Now I do love these mirrors and I'll show you some more features on them in a minute, but for now, we gotta fold them in. Power folding is nice, but yeah, they just stick out so far that I don't think I was gonna get through here without damaging them. Now the ground beneath us is real soft today, man. Oh yeah, and I can already feel it sliding a little bit. Definitely sliding. Oh yeah, I'm even sliding right here trying to turn. How am I on that tree, Liam? I'm gonna clear. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, apparently I am stuck, and I'm stuck so close to these two trees. Hold on a second. Little reverse. Whoo, doggies, it's slippery out here. It is slick, man. All right, let me just try this one more time. Little bit of speed, and you know what? Let's go ahead and lock up that rear axle right now. It's not going to help me make the turn, but it should help give me a little bit of traction. Maybe not, though. Oh my gosh. Seems like we've found the limits of these Duratracks, man. Truly found the limit. Luckily, we're still good in reverse. But I don't know. It's not making me feel confident because I know it just gets worse from here. And I'm already sliding all over. Oh, now I'm going to get stuck in reverse a little bit here, too. Come on, baby. Well, folks, I'm officially backing off of this trail. I just do not feel confident enough because I know it just gets harder from here. So yeah, definitely found the limits of these Duratracks. And it's a funny thing with the Duratracks is that I feel like for a while, these were the go-to off-road tire for every brand. And they've basically been replaced in the marketplace mostly by the Goodyear Wrangler Territory. That thing is now everywhere. But Ram stuck it out with the Duratracks here on the Rebel. And yeah, in my experience, a pretty good off-road tire, but I don't care what tire you have, they're always eventually going to be overcome. And today, with just how soft the ground is, these tires have been overcome. Now I'm backing out of here very carefully. I had to put my mirrors back out so I could see. Oh, they're scratching and clawing. But the other thing too with this mud today is it's super sticky. A lot of clay mixed in with this mud, so those tires are caked. I can just see them. And last shot, here we go, come on, yes. I guess we're going this way. I wanted to go the other way, but at some point you have to just go whatever way the trail kind of takes you. So we're going this way. Oh, man. All right, I gotta get out and take a look and come up with a plan of attack because I'm just in such an awkward situation here and the truck keeps sliding all over the place, so give me a moment. All right, so situation report. Again, trees. I'm in a really tight spot, and the problem is the truck keeps sliding, and I mean, just take a look at the mud here, folks. Like, it is absolutely thick. This is the thickest we've seen it on this new trail, I guess just because it's been raining, so the ground is so waterlogged right now. This is giving us a sense for what we're going to get into, especially in the spring. So I'm happy that the mud trail is going to be particularly challenging, but I'm not happy about this situation. So right now it's going to be, I got to try to come up into this space and then back out that way down the trail. and hope that the truck slides the way I want it to. Let's keep working at it. And once again, I need my cameras on. They're gonna help me. Plus I've got cameraman Liam shooting and spotting out there. I need to come over towards you, Liam, and get more on the right angle before I try and make the turn, because there's no way I'm gonna make it like that. Okay, so here we go again. No. It's slipping the exact wrong way.
You're on a big route down here.
Big route, okay, got it. Backing up. Okay, now I'm coming straight for you. Am I gonna clear it there? Okay. So I'm gonna come at you a little bit, and then I'm gonna turn hard the other way. Right about now, try to get the appropriate angle. My rear end just keeps sliding the exact direction I don't want it to. G plus. And of course, I'm sticking again. Gotta go even further forward. Even further, because I just need to start on the correct angle. This is the angle that I need. Okay, now I got it back out here. Once again, keep hitting the same spot where my bed wants to slide driver side and I need it to slide passenger side. There could be a recovery coming up here, folks. Even though I'm not stuck, kind of in a stuck situation. And I mean, momentum is terrifying here because I am so close to everything around me. If I could just give it a little bit, give it the beans, I'd probably be okay. So Liam, I need my nose to be as close as possible driver's side to that tree. I'm gonna just start turning gradually
You're
now.
as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, like don't turn.
You got like an inch.
Okay. I'm gonna go as slow as I can. Let me know when you think I can start to turn.
Now.
Okay, starting the turn.
But you're right up against the ridge there too.
Yeah. Oh, my rear end turning the correct direction this time. I got four-wheel spin going on, but I'm just inching backwards. Just inch by inch. I think I'm gonna get it. I need my mirrors back. No, not again, Rebel. I need to straighten up to be able to move back. No! Every time I want it to slip passenger side, it slips to the driver's side, and then it just puts the truck at a weird angle. Okay, well, I'm way closer than I was before. Let me see if I can just 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, inch out of here. And Rebel. Oh. Am I clear, front passenger? Yeah, look how close I am there, Liam. It's like, it can't be more than an inch.
Yeah.
But yeah, is my front passenger corner clear?
Yeah, you're good at the front.
Okay. I'm gonna try and just go straight forward. Super slowly. This is not my truck, everybody. I don't want to hurt it. Yes, Rebel! Woo! doggies! Well, that was high stress there for a second, wasn't it, folks? All right, folks, well, we escaped from the thick mud. And yeah, I just wasn't feeling super confident. You saw how close I was to those trees, and I do not want to damage Ram's truck. So we came over here to our local unmaintained road, which again today is full of water. We've just been splashing all over the place. And yeah, you can see it's really potholed out. It's the end of the season. There's no maintenance on this road, so just dealing with these huge holes and stuff. Luckily though, it's a hard packed surface, so the mud isn't really an issue. And yeah, I just wanted to get a feel for the truck out here, sort of moving at speed. Now, definitely it is not a high-speed off-roader, nothing like the RHO. You know, we were just recently in that truck. That thing feels entirely different than this Rebel does, thanks to the suspension upgrades. The Rebel here, I'm picking along 20, 25 kilometers an hour, and that's about as quick as I would want to go on a road like this, just because I'm bouncing up and down. All of that said, though, now that I'm out of off-road suspension mode, I'm just at the regular normal off-road height, or the normal height, I should say, no off-road height, the suspension feels better. When you're in off-road 2, you absolutely feel that it's really kind of at the end of its travel, whereas right now, the suspension is doing a much better job at keeping things fairly smooth. Again, not RHO smooth, but not bad. Oh, that was a particularly deep one. On this road, the tires are feeling great though, so no complaints there. So yeah, you know what, based on everything you've seen in this video, everything we've done today, this Rebel's feeling okay. It's feeling exactly like what it is, sort of a mid-level off-road truck. Now that is true in terms of the performance, but when you get in the interior, especially the way we have it spec'd, this thing feels like a luxury truck. I mean, we have the huge touchscreen. We have the passenger touchscreen in this truck. We have the Harman Kardon upgraded audio system, fully digital gauge cluster, head-up display, dual wireless charging for cell phones. So yeah, so many features inside this cab. Plus we got leather seats here, leather-wrapped steering wheel. Yeah, it's a gorgeous interior. Now, sadly, we don't have the red accents today on our Rebel because you can order it without the red. Personally, I love the red seat belts and the red accents you get up on the dash. But yeah, outside of that, everything in this interior is excellent. So that's the takeaway, is off-road performance feels solid, sort of, again, feels like a mid-road off-road truck. Interior feels like a luxury truck. And I would walk away feeling good about this truck if it weren't for the price. We're running into this wall again, because I feel like I say this in so many videos. The MSRP here in Canada of the truck you're looking at is $99,000 Canadian. Now, it is worth mentioning, especially right now, that Stellantis and basically all of the major brands are offering quite a few incentives. So if you go to a dealership, you're going to get out the door for less than MSRP on this truck. But still, even if you get 10 grand off at 89, it feels incredibly expensive. You just can't get around it. That's a crazy amount of money to pay for what isn't even the top tier off-road truck. If that was RHO, if you're talking about an RHO for that money, yeah, maybe I can squint and start to see some value. But with this truck, it just feels way overpriced. And I think that's what Ram is going through right now. And Jeep as well, you know, a lot of the Stellantis brands, they just kept on upping their prices more and more and more, seemingly more than some of their competitors. And now they're in a situation where suddenly their products aren't selling. Ram is struggling, and it feels pretty obvious as to why. It's just they're asking too much money, and then add on the fact that they got rid of the Hemi. And I'll tell you, after everything I've done today, I don't miss the Hemi. This Hurricane is quite good, loads of power, super smooth, buttery power, no problem with the modulation of the throttle. So I don't find myself missing the Hemi, but whether you like it or not, the marketing behind the Hemi and just the name Hemi, it was so iconic that brought a lot of people to the brand. So I feel like Ram's downfall right now in 2024 is eliminating that Hemi V8 combined with prices on their new trucks just skyrocketing way too high. And then if I can add one other piece to that puzzle, the Ram Classic went out of production this year. And don't forget, Ram sales previously included the Classic. They would just lump it all in and they wouldn't tell you sort of individually what was selling. Well, now they can't do that because Classic is gone. And that was another big draw to the showroom because you could walk in there and say, you know what? The new truck has the Hemi, the old truck has the same Hemi, and if I get the Classic, I'm gonna save $10,000, $15,000. So that was just another sales tactic that Ram dealers had to get you out the door in a new truck, and they don't have that anymore. So all of those things have come together to add up to a Ram brand that is struggling, which is a shame because this is a nice truck. Decent off-road, beautiful interior, like the power. The fuel economy's been okay too. I did want to bring this up. I've been getting between 13 and 14 liters per 100, and out of the Hemi, yeah, you'd never get anything quite that good. So I feel good about the fuel economy improvement as well, but I just feel really bad about the price, man. I wish Ram could have offered us a little bit more of a bargain when they came out with this 2025. And maybe in the future they will, because honestly, I feel like they're going to be forced into doing it. Well, we're done off-roading now. I want to do just a little bit on-road, but before we take off, I do want to talk a little bit more about these mirrors because I do think they are the best towing mirrors in the half-ton segment. Let me show you why. Not only are they big, and you get the lower spot mirror, but that lower spot mirror is powered. I love when those are powered. A lot of trucks, even heavy duties, offer the spots, but they're still manual, so I like that they're powered here. Now, I already showed you, but just a refresher, you can fold them in. That's also powered. And then for towing, you can also put them out. Once again, all powered. So you don't have to get out of your truck. You just sit here and they take care of it for you. Now the other feature I want to show you, right over here, there's a built-in spotlight, which is going to light up down the sides of your truck, and you have the choice whether you want to light up behind the mirrors or in front of the mirrors, and you can do both at the same time. You're not going to see a huge difference in the daytime, but at night, yeah, that's actually going to light up the area around the truck. So some really nice new towing mirrors here from Ram. And now it is time to take off. So the real thing I want to feel is the power, so we're going to put it over there into sport mode. We're here on a nice empty road. Come to a dead stop. And let's feel it. Whoa, baby. Well, some very obvious turbo lag, because before the turbo hits, you're kind of like, okay, that's not bad. And then when you heard me giggle, that's when the turbo came on, and when you feel all that power, oh my goodness, it feels so good. And yes, absolutely feels more powerful than the Hemi V8 that it's replacing. It doesn't feel the exact same. Yeah, you get a little bit of that turbo lag and then sudden lurch of power where the Hemi had that classic linear V8 feel. So they're not going to feel the same. And it doesn't sound terrible, but it also doesn't sound great. So yeah, you're gonna lose the sound a little bit as well. But just in terms of the actual power getting to the ground, this engine feels amazing. And I think smooth is the operative word. It just, everything about it feels super smooth. And of course, that was a foot to the floor power delivery. And just in normal driving, the turbo lag's not nearly as pronounced. And yeah, uber smooth is definitely the best way I can put it. And that applies to the whole truck, basically. It's an easy to drive truck. It's comfortable here on the road. The suspension does a nice job. The Duratracks are noisy. Definitely some road noise coming through from those. That's why I'm a little surprised Ram didn't change out that OEM tire. Every other brand has gone away from these, and I think that's why, because as a factory tire, quote unquote, yeah, they're a little bit loud. So they could have probably come up with a slightly better tire option. But outside of that, yeah, this is a nice driving truck. And when it comes to features, I do have the rear camera mirror up here, so I get that. I do have the head-up display. That makes things easier for driving. I also get Ram's full suite of adaptive cruise and lane keep assist, all of those driver's aids, which are nice. So when it comes to just daily driving this thing, it really does a nice job. Honestly, folks, I'm coming to the end of this one. I think you've seen everything you need to see to make up your mind on this Ram, because I'll just repeat myself one last time. It's a good truck, and I walk away feeling okay about everything we did today, except for the price point. If I could get into this same truck at a much more affordable price point, I would be singing its praises. But yeah, with an MSRP around 100 grand here in Canada, it's a little bit hard to swallow, and it will be very interesting in the year and years to come to see how Ram reacts. I know for a fact here in Canada, they've already cut prices here on the Ram 1500 as well as over at Jeep. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that goes even further as we move forward. And Stellantis, you know, they have to make moves right now to make sure they dig themselves out of the hole that they're in. So yes, it will be very interesting to watch Ram sales and what Ram does in the years to come. Well, that's it for this one, folks. Please now drop into the comments. Let me know what you think of the Rebel and everything you saw in this video. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we're testing next. See ya.